Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Halloween Eve. How was your weekend? How's it going? Let me know you can hear me and see me okay. I always check everything here. All right. So we are still moseying along on the Opium coat by Deer and Doe Patterns. And let's see, where's my instructions here? I was just reading them. So we're making this, and we've made some really great progress. I think I have the camera a little too over there. There we go. Hi, Beverly. Thank you for letting me know. So let's see, we've made the outer coat. We attached the collar to the coat, and we made the collar to the facings. We did the welt pockets. And we had a lot of trouble with the collar to the neckline and the collar to the facings. I was just ironing it, and it was a little fiddly. But I haven't trimmed the neckline or clipped it yet. And what I'm finding partly is that the interfacing I used on the facings is different than the one that Hearts provided, and mine is rebelling a little bit. And so I'm trying to beat it into submission so that it also looks good even after it's been sewn and washed a few times. And let's see, I feel like I actually have a different size collar, but I'm not sure yet. Like collar than the coat. Like the collar to collar is fine, but the collar to the coat, I don't know. It was a lot of easing. So we'll see. But like when it's on the body and like folded, it's beautiful. So we'll see. We're making the belted version, so I need to still sew the belt. And then the lining to the jacket. And then the facing and collar to the collar and the coat. So that's what we're doing today. I don't know if we'll finish today. We might. I've been really moseying on this jacket. So just because I'm kind of enjoying the process, and I just don't feel like I'm in a rush. I'm not rushing usually, but I'm usually like keeping a clipped pace, you know? So I want to do a little show and tell. I made blackbird pie today, like 4 and 20 blackbirds. This is fabric I designed, so I could have done a little higher contrast for the beak, but I don't know. Am I making another what, Megan? Hi, Heather. Hi, Megan. Yay! I am making another coat. I'm making the same Opium coat right now. I haven't started another. So, and then this one, my friend bought me maybe as a blackbird fabric, but now I'm gonna call this one Eat Crow because they're definitely crows. I just made these, so they're not stuffed yet. I don't like the stuffing part. Oh, the jacket. Yeah, I know. I might make me one eventually. Hi, Brooke. How's it going? Brooke's in Smoky Napa right now. So worried about you guys over there. Thanks, Brooke. Yeah, I know. I probably need to stop making them. I have so many right now. But there's still so many I want to make, Oh, nice, Heather. You finished the costume. Cool. Right, Beverly? I don't either. So I got my fabric order from Spoonflower because they were having a really good fabric sale on knit. It was 25% off, which is awesome because it's wide. It's a great knit. Yeah, I could, Brooke, huh? Megan wants to know how you're doing, Brooke. I know a bunch of people over there. My friend her son is evacuated, so she's kind of worried. And my neighbor, the one that lives next door to me, both of her sons are fighting those fires. So I could tell she's a little worried. They never do a 25. Right, Heather? Exactly. Yeah, it's smoky there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you have power. They, the local college, the junior college, what do you call it? Not junior college, but you know what I mean. They are closed today, and I think it's because of the power outages. So they must be hitting us here as well. I must just be outside of it. So yeah, so I got my order, and when I placed it, I was like, oh, I'm going to make a Halloween shirt, not realizing how long it would take to get here. So I might make this today. So I got a knit to make a little Halloween shirt, you know, just for fun. And then this is something I'm going to sew on stream. So I want pajamas. Like, I don't really want matchy pajamas, but you know how pajamas are usually matchy. One of you just made a pajama top that was buttoned down the front without the collar. I really like that idea, and I might do that in a knit. But what I like is knit tops with the woven bottoms, and so you can do that on Spoonflower. So I bought this. So this is the knit, and this is the woven. So I'm gonna make a knit top and knit pajama bottoms. They look identical, don't they? So this will be the bottoms, and this will be the top. Same exact print. And here's the designer, Jada Fitch. I bought for pajama pants. I bought the poplin. I'm a big fan of that poplin. It's really crisp, but I like the Kona as well. It's a little thicker, I would say, thicker in kind of a fluffier way. I don't know how to describe Kona cotton. Most knitters know it, but it's a little, yeah. Well, the poplin, it's just very smooth and crisp. That's what I like about it. And I like my pajama pants to feel kind of that way because I don't really want them to wrinkle either. So, and then this is the other one I got. So same thing. This is the knit. And then this is the poplin. And so you can tell there's a little difference in color on this one, but not much. That is kind of the risk when you're doing two different bases, is that the colors may be a little different. You can tell this is lighter. I actually thought this was springier on the monitor. It's way more fall than I thought. So I will have two sets of pajamas, which feels very decadent, you know. But yeah, I'm going to make that. I'll probably do that this month, or November, not this month. But I got, one of you guys requested that I post the schedule much further in advance so that you can sew along with me. And I really like the idea. I love the idea that you guys are sewing along with me. I didn't really think that any of you would be. So I could do that. And I think at least for two of the projects, right, I could do way ahead of time. So yeah, I'd love to see your haul, Heather. You can post it on our Facebook group. Or if you, do I follow you on, yeah, I follow you on Instagram, right? You're the Coney Kids. Sorry, I can't think of how that's spelled now, how to say it. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, then just tag me. I want to see. What are you making with yours, Heather? Are they for the kids' clothes you make? Because it's so hard to choose, isn't it? I get to a point where I'm like, you know what? I will not remember those other things once mine arrive, and I just do it. So I still didn't have a duvet cover on our new for our new bed. Like, we need two. Quony. Okay. So we've been using these little kitty ones that are statically charged and driving us all kind of nuts, even the pets. Maybe the pets will stay off the bed though. And then I realized, oh, I can buy whatever print I want on Spoonflower and put it into a duvet, right? Like, not sew it myself. I can buy it on Roostery. Expensive, by the way. Very expensive to do this. But I was like, you know, I haven't bought new bedding in like 17 years. I could probably do that. It's going to last me a while. And I couldn't decide. So, yeah, right, Brooke? I totally couldn't decide. And then I was like, all right, the little quilt I'm making, little cat quilt, I'm going to make those into 2 duvet covers. I know people don't typically do that, but I can do it. And then I figured out that it'll take me 96 of those darn squares. And I was like, no, not going to happen. So I finished all my quilt squares, though. I've been chipping away at them a little bit, like after work and before I go home. Yeah, right? It's a total rabbit hole. Yeah. So I feel like I favored a few. And then once I'm starting to go, ugh, I can't decide, I look at the favorites and I'm like, you know what? These jump out at me, and I put them in my cart and I go. So yeah, so this one is the organic cotton print, the organic cotton knit, not print, but it is print. And then this is the cotton poplin. I had trouble. I was trying to decide what to make for the pants. Like, I think the Kona cotton would be good. Or they're really pushing the petal cotton Did I just get some of that petal cotton? Ooh. Wait, let's see what I actually got. It's right here. It's literally right here. Oh, I got cotton poplin brava. I don't remember the brava word, but yeah. So anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to make myself a little Halloween shirt today. And I'm going to build shrinkage into it since it's not pre-washed. Eek! And there's like 5% shrinkage. So 5% is not enough to ignore. Or it's too much to ignore. So, hey, H. Dot, how's it going? Oh, cool, Heather. I'm going to see those. So, anyway, I put this away. I just got that order. Put my pies away. Let's work on this. Let's get this done. So then after I finish this week, I don't really have like plans right now. So I think I'm just going to work on a basic bodice, you know, like of pattern. Because I feel like people, I could, Megan, but I'll just build the shrinkage and it'll be fine. And I'll make it a little big. It's a Halloween shirt I get to wear once this year, and then it's going to sit in the drawer for a year, you know, or 11 months. So I'm not really about making seasonal clothes because of that reason, you know. So I actually thought I had bought a holiday print that wasn't too holiday, you know, but I guess I didn't manage to do that one, unfortunately. So I'll have to wait and get that, but maybe before it's the holiday, like before it's the last day of the holiday season this time. So I always go to Heidi Kenny on there for her prints. That's where that little jack-o'-lantern print is from, or the little treat bucket print. Because I like how she'll do something completely just kind of off-kilter from all the other types of, you know, cliche things, and then she does very cliche things or vintage looking things too. Right, Megan? Yeah. I kind of feel like that maybe this shirt, that maybe this would be, wouldn't this be cute really as like a jersey with black sleeves? That'd be cute, huh? My little bin runneth over. I don't know if I have any black print or black knit. Do I? Well, maybe I could just do, remember when I did the Thea Rochelle Raglan by Audacier? Ellen Mason? I did, what did I do? I did a woven body and knit sleeves. I could do the reverse. Yeah, exactly, Heather. Oh, well, you know, Heather, speaking from experience with chicken boots, it took me a while to jump on that idea, just because I would never buy something that's very holiday specific in my bags, you know, like in a bag or something, and wear it or use it just, you know, partially through the year. But I did learn that there is a small sector of people that are really into it, and you could just make a limited edition, like small batch, and then do it. And then, you know, if you don't want them sitting around, just discount them after the holidays, you know, which I rarely ever did. They usually sold out with really quickly. I did, like, Halloween, actually. People were really into Halloween, but it was really funny. Like, my Halloween sold okay, and it would sell out by the time Halloween rolled around, but not immediately. Like, a couple years it did, and a couple years it didn't, so. But Halloween's a big one. Yeah. Yeah, it's right, Beverly, exactly. I'm going to make it today. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it today. Yeah, or striped sleeve top. Yeah, right? I love baseball tee style. Yeah, Brooke. I still remember my Popeye shirt when I was a kid. And it was white jersey, and it had the little decal, and he was holding his can of spinach, and he said, "I am what I am." And I swear the decal had even like sparkles, like silver sparkles in it. And then the sleeves were like this pale light blue. And I think, did my friend have a matching one? No, she didn't have a matching one. I was the Popeye fan. I was a big Popeye fan. Olive oil kind of drive me crazy. Brutus and Wimpy stressed me out. But, you know, Brutus or Bluto, whatever you called him. Anyway, let's do this. So I didn't trim my, so here's our coat. I just did the rotary knife around all the lining pieces. All right, so I'm pretty sure it is clip the coat, trim the collar, right? Is that what it is? Or is it the reverse? So yeah, trim the collar down and then flip the coat and the facing down. So I'm just gonna trim this down a little bit. Just the collar layer. So, and then we'll attach it together. I just was looking at the instructions for this, and someone was saying that this pattern, people have said that this pattern is a little confusing, and I don't think it's confusing. I think it's that there's a lack of explanation for a couple of the steps, so you doubt what the step is. You don't just blindly trust, you know? I tend to kind of explain those types of things when I'm trying to do something, because I'm the type of person that has to know why. Why am I doing this? So that I do it. Because if I don't know why, I will be like, you have to do that. You know what I mean? So, or I doubt it and I think, oh, maybe I know a better way. And then I get myself into a pickle because sometimes I don't know best. Which I'm being very sarcastic about, because of course I don't. Of course I don't always know best. So I'm trimming just the collar edge, and I'm only going to go up to the edge that we stopped stitching. Right about here. Like that. And now I'm going to clip into the neckline, which is obviously the edge we were easing. Kind of funny because usually you're clipping. This is really awkward. Sorry. Does it look awkward? I feel like it probably looks awkward because it feels awkward too. Trying not to grab the collar. I don't think it'll hurt anything if it does though. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit. That Brussels washer linen is getting a little thready in certain areas. I wanted to do this off camera so bad, then I was like, you know what? I can't skip some of these steps though, and just say, and then do this. You know, it's like when someone does those instructional videos, and then they're like, and then do this, and you don't see them do it, and so you miss that they did it, and then you miss doing it. The reason you're watching a video usually is because you're a visual learner. So when people just says, just do this now, it's easy to think they didn't do it either. All right. Unfortunately, I have to do this on the facing too. All right, here's my facing. So I did a pinking edge around all of my, yikes, lining pieces so that they wouldn't get unravelly. Hi, Eliza. Why would this jacket be your Hell No Sewing group? What do you mean? Do you not like it? It's been pretty easy to sew, except for getting the collar to the neckline. And I'm still not convinced that I don't have the right piece. There's a chance. I'm gonna clip right here again because that's the center, just in case it's useful later. So, does anyone have Halloween plans? Is it celebrated in other countries as much as it is here? Kind of a big deal. I'm in a neighborhood that's pretty good, but at the same time, people still cart their kids somewhere else. And then they all come to my house afterward because I decorate my house so they know that there might be candy, you know? It looks stressful, really? I'm sorry. It hasn't been. I've really enjoyed it. I've been just taking my time with it and enjoying it. Like, we probably could have done this in 3 parts easily. But I'm not sure I'll actually finish today. Because I didn't really push it. We could have been a little further along. I thought the welt pockets, like, that was a really fun process. It's gonna rain, Heather. Oh. It's cold here. It's sunny and pretty, but it's cold. That's when you got to feel for those college folks that wear the barely anything for Halloween. They're so cold. You went out hardcore. All right, so the next step is you sew the collar only to the collar. And by that I mean we're going to match it up. This is it right here. Yep. I just doubted it because there was a seam right there. I forgot about the seam. So you're going to go around and you're going to keep the facing out of the way best you can. So you're going to line up these edges here. And so all the way around this perimeter, which doesn't look the same anymore. And then you're going to line up these start and stops right there to each other and keep the facing out of the way. Let's see how we do this. And this is the step right here, 4-6. Right here. It says pin the upper collar to the under collar with right sides together. Stitch around the collar, folding the neckline seam allowance downward so they don't get caught in the seam. So the neckline seam allowance, meaning, where did I just lose it again? Your neckline seam allowance, this one, the one I had to ease. Hi, Carol, it's snowy there. So how does trick-or-treating work there? So someone I used to follow on Instagram lived somewhere where they don't, like, look at this. This doesn't even match. What the heck? I feel like I'm going to go a little further on this neckline so these two match. You see that? Because look at this right here matches to here to here. Look how deep that notch is. Whoops. But I didn't sew this one as close to the neckline. It looks like I did, but I'm going to sew this one closer so that they match, like right there. But they lived somewhere where the trick-or-treating was not on Halloween. Okay, I'm wearing different shoes today. I'm wearing high tops, and I keep, like, I'm not getting the timing right on my pedal right now, so today should be interesting. Like, it starts sewing without me, and I'm like, eek, get my hands out of there. All right, let's do this. No. So now I just did a little too much, maybe. Let's see. So I'm just lining this up, trying to get those points the same. That looks pretty good. Let's look at the other side before we get over there and we're like, uh-oh. Let's line up this edge here. Line up this edge here. Yeah, so this one I could sew a little further as well. It's the one to the facing that I'm finding I could sew a little further. Right there. Okay. Looks kind of like a hot mess, doesn't it? It's gonna be fine, right? We're gonna make this work. All right, so I'm gonna push the seam allowance towards the neckline, and I kind of want to start on the. I'm gonna start on the white side up, the top collar facing up, so you can see better. So I'm gonna line up these edges here. I'm gonna get some of this jacket out of the way. and put it like this. There we go. Yeah, I've been noticing people picturing or posting pictures of snow. Like, wow. It was just summer. All right, so I've pushed all my seam allowances that way, and I'm going to try and backstitch right here where this juncture is right here. Okay. It always looks messy on the inside of a coat, especially when you've got like dark stitching on top of light interfacing, you know. It's going to look better when it's all done. It's just the nature of the beast. I do admit I don't have a ton of experience making collars like this. It's just not, it's like such a specific style of sewing and garment that it's not like I need a lot of these in my life, you know? So, sorry I'm not as like intuitive about it. Then I have to just apply logic, you know? Where's the center? Okay. You definitely want to make sure you're still lining up your centers because you want the collar to fold down correctly. That facing's really bugging me. Where's my pie? I've only got like 50 of them. I'm gonna pin this right here, just this end here, but we don't have to worry about it. Opening up that seam allowance on the under collar as well. Pretty sure the seam allowance is still 3/8, although I don't know if you saw my starting thing. It's a little different because I'm going by where the end point was. That right there. All right, so now I'm pivoting, lining it all up. Get the neckline seam down because I'm just trying to sew the collar to the collar. I've never sewn a notched collar like this before. Kind of interesting. All right, so now we're gonna do the facing to the center front here. And you can see I pulled off my inner facing today because it was kind of misbehaving and I was starting to get nervous that it was going to negatively affect the coat later on. So I just kind of lifted it up and started repressing it. That's the danger. Like sometimes I feel like when you press the heck out of something for interfacing, maybe it's not technically shrinking the fabric, but it's definitely bringing it in and making it that piece smaller, you know, in my experience. So, you know, and with this linen, I only washed it once. Like there could be room for shrinkage. So it could be shrinking on the inner facing sides when you don't really need it to. My kingdom for a pin cushion. Here we go. Here it is. All right. So now we're on the next step. So you just are doing the interfacing right here with my finger. Sorry, my fingernails are terrible. They're right there at the edge there and down the center and then across the facing up to about 5/8 of an inch away from the edge. Hi, Nancy. This edge here. Okay. So I'm starting at that spot there right at the point of the neckline right there. Okay. You line the facing with the bottom marking on the coat pattern, which is about 1 3/8 of an inch away from the edge. So you see how the facing is shorter than the coat? You're lining that up with that notch right there. And then, yeah, you go across and then you stop 5/8 of an inch away from this long edge here. Okay? All right. So now we're going to sew this together. I'm going to look at it under there. I want to make sure that what I just sewed is actually going to connect with this too. It will. But yeah, I've kind of lifted this interfacing up. I'm treating it as non-fusible right now. How's it going, Nancy? right, so let's look at our hem. I'm gonna notch this about 1 3/8 up right here. That's just a circle in the pattern. It's not a notch. That's why I didn't notch it. Circles are always one of those things I'm like, why do I need to do that? So this, do you see how this is looser? And this was the interfaced edge, see, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. My interfacing's hanging off over the edge. I'm actually doing the correct seam allowance. Just in case the seam allowance police is here. Static is kind of a big deal right now. I'm going to do the bodice sloper this week, yeah. Well, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like my project this week is this, and then I'm going to start on a bodice sloper. I will admit I already have one for me, but I haven't really looked at it in a few years. So I was kind of thinking about, like, I'm not like thinking about it. I haven't thought in depth about it yet. Will this be the one that I eventually can turn into a pattern that I can sell? I don't know. So I'm just exploring it right now because I'm still interested in doing that and having a sloper each person can buy, you know, maybe with like 3 or 4 sizes, and then you could kind of find your size within those 3 or 4 sizes. Yeah, I'm going to go through the process of drafting it out, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use an existing pattern or if I do it by the book. Because you can do it by a pattern drafting book, and you literally draft it by measurement, you know? So you're like, okay, you draw a line on the paper, and then you draw a bust line, and then you measure the pattern, you know what I mean? Like that. So we could do that. Where the heck is my pincushion? I feel like that way anybody could do it. At the same time, I will admit, like, I've done that before, and the sloper was okay. It was pretty good, but it wasn't perfect. Right? Exactly, Eliza. Yeah. All right, so I'm stopping about 5/8 of an inch away from the edge right there. There you go. See? I can't wait for this to look nice because all the threads kind of bugging me. It looks bad to me too, you guys. Hi, Ida. How are you? All right, so again, here we are. We're going to line this edge up. Let's see. Did our points match? Not quite. Actually, not quite at all. Do you see that? So I don't know if you can see, but right here is my point on my collar, and here's my point on my neckline. Those two need to meet. So let's fix that. You need to do that. Take it apart right now if you just don't meet. Because they need to. You're going to have a lot less trouble. It's going to lay a lot nicer. There's a lot going on the notched collars that is kind of sneaky and will sneak up on you, and then it won't fit. It won't lay right. And that's kind of the trick with these. Yeah, maybe, Ida, because I was just going to use my book from college, which certainly wasn't a free resource, but I also hesitate to use someone else's resources unless they're designated that way, because I wouldn't want to be like, you know, using someone else's content without, I would definitely say where I got it, but you know what I mean? So. Yeah, it is, Megan. It's a linen. Linen does that. All right, so I feel like, how would I get this to match here? I think, get rid of this threads here. Let me see here. I think, let me try a different thing here. This seam allowance needs to be a little bigger right here. See, so this is how I'm going to figure it out. Like you can see my collar's not lining up right here very well. So I'm holding the collar like this and I'm getting down here and I'm seeing what needs to happen, right? And this right here seems like it could be a better seam allowance match right there. So if I want this to match right now, I sometimes do this to stick my awl in where it needs to go, because it won't hurt anything. Oh my gosh. Why does my needle get threaded when I do stuff like that? Like when I need it to more than ever to not have to let go, you know? Yeah, right, Ida? I totally agree. I think the key to drafting a sloper is the fitting process. You know what I mean? Like, you can take anything in the world, you know, like basic bodice style. If you can start with a pattern that has a waist dart or a bust start, I prefer a waist dart, or both, a set-in sleeve, and no frills in the shoulder, the neckline, and then just a button front, and then like something that goes to your hip length, you're good. You know, like you can start with that and make that into your sloper, but you may have, with certain patterns, you may have more work than with others. It's nice to start with something you know really well, because at least you know what the good things and the bad things are with that pattern, and you can kind of, you know, fix them, right? So it just depends. Like if I start with my sloper, which I drafted a long time ago, I feel like the thing I would need to work on is my body has changed since then. And so then it's more of like a fit issue. And also my preferences have changed, how I want things to fit. You know, I may want things a little looser in the front now to hide the lumps, right? And I'm finding that I need to open up the back hem a little, you know, because of the like pooling I get with the fabric. And I think that's from a few different reasons. Let's see if this fixes what I'm doing here. Oh, I do not like that. I'm gonna see if that would fix it, but I'm gonna straighten that out, because I just did that willy-nilly and that wasn't probably a good idea. Okay, I just need to back it off and I'm going to straighten it out a little bit. I was forgetting where I was sewing. I really want to do like more fitting things and learning, like going through the process of how to fit things. My problem is the dress form thing. Like if I can't do it on me for you guys, because it just doesn't work. You know, I need something standing there so I can say, when you have this issue, this is what you do. When you have this issue, and you kind of play with it. We could try it on my dinky little dress form, but I just feel kind of like she's kind of insulting to all of us, except for those of you that are that size. But most people are not a size 5 at our age. That's a junior, that's a teenage size. You know what I mean? So even if you're petite, you're not that size, because she is also not fully developed. You know what I mean? Like she's in a very unique size category, proportionally, and just like the bone structure, you know, like fundamentally she's not in the right age bracket. So at the very least, we should have a Missy dress form, let alone something that is, I don't know, not fashion standard. So, like that's not even my daughter's size. And you've seen her. Like she's not even that shape. All right, so let's look at this from this side. And we also don't want this little thing right here. That'll be a little tuck. Okay, so I'm just smoothing out this edge here. Okay, that's looking a lot better. I kind of want to I want it to be a little higher on the collar. I'm being a little fussy about this. I know what I need to do. I'm gonna take this out. Sorry. So, yeah, so I'm just trying to decide the best way to do the basic block. Because partly I just want to do it by the book. And then I want to get different measurements and alter it. Or I want to use different measurements to create it. You know? Other than mine. To kind of give it the most uniqueness. So that it's custom. But I don't really want to start a custom block making pattern thing. I want it to be something that is in a neutral spot for you to alter into what you need. I don't know, what would you guys like? You know, like what would you guys like in a block? All right, I'm gonna lift this collar up right here. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit higher. I'm gonna go back a little further. Hi, Alicia, how's it going? Happy Halloween Eve. Like just talking about the block is already making me go, how am I gonna do this, you know? I'm trying to I'm kind of fussing with this little point right here. I don't probably need to fuss as much as I am, but I am. Okay, I'm raising it up. So what I'm trying to do is actually make the collar side a little bit shorter. You'd like to make a top that fits your neck and shoulders properly. I totally agree with you, Nancy. I think you and I have talked about that before, how we both agree that that is like when you know something fits really good, it's the neck and the shoulders, you know? All right, let me check again here. Okay, that's pretty spot on right there. So let's resew my little collar edge here. Pull all the seam allowances down. I'm gonna match up my points better this time. Okay, and now we're gonna do our facing, which now probably doesn't match as well. And we're gonna get our there's something up with this pattern. Like, I don't think the pattern's wrong, but something's up with this facing and collar combo. I think I may have the wrong size. That's what I think. Yeah, exactly. And see, the thing is, like, it's really hard to find patterns currently for sale that are a good starting point. You need some really classic dressmaking, you know, like you need those patterns that have the 2-dart bodice, so you know, waist and bust dart, and then you need a sleeve that sits right on your armhole, and that is a very classic style of clothing that we don't typically wear right now, but that's what you need in order to draft everything. Yeah, exactly, Heather. Yeah, like, yeah, you want it to be able to transfer to what you need. All right. Again, I pulled my interfacing off right now. All right, and then where's this notch here? It's 1 3/8 up on the hem right here. This is the center front edge right here, and this is the hem of the coat. See how my interfacing is short? I can't remember if it was actually short in the pattern, short when I cut it, or if it actually is the facing kind of growing a little bit, you know? Yeah, so my facing is kind of not lining up there. So let's see, let's line up this edge here. Kind of handling too many things at once right now. On this interfacing, I'm kind of hoping it'll go to the bottom, but I don't think it will. So the danger with sewing across the hem right now is that you really need to make sure that your center front, your left and your right center fronts are going to line up with each other. So I'm going to just sew across it as if we know it does, and then I'm going to check it, because it probably doesn't. Most likely, between the fabric relaxing, between seam allowances and sewing and cutting and sewing errors, my center fronts are probably different from each other, right? So I'm going to sew across here, or maybe I'll just get up to that bottom point, and then I'm going to check it before I sew across. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take it out. It's kind of a bummer when you finish your jacket and the fronts don't line up. Yeah, the strings are bugging me. The strings are bugging me. I'm used to it though. Like it's like, it is what it is. I've sewn worse. I don't like sewing taffeta for that reason. All right, so I'm just going to stop there and check my fronts. But let's trim this. I'm going to trim the corner. Now look at that edge there. Trim this corner. We're going to turn it right side out now. So I'm just turning it along the facing here. We're going to start seeing a lot less of the threads now. So here's our juncture. It's okay. This doesn't look very nice, does it? Oh, Ramona, you're reminding me. Yeah, exactly, Ramona, right? Exactly, Nancy, like lining up a waistband. Hey, Megan, I don't think I have your email anywhere, and I wanted to send you the pattern, the cupcake pattern, because you donated $10, and that doesn't give me your email. So can you email me? Are you still here? Because I don't think you've donated another way where I grabbed it, unless I don't know who you are on Twitch. Like, I can't remember, and you got it. If you haven't gotten the pattern already, like if you haven't gotten it for free from me, will you email me at sosolive@gmail.com and give me your email address? Okay, so here's my collar. So here's the raw edge of the facing, and this is going to be attached to lining. And so one of the hand sewing things you do here is you attach the collar edge to the collar edge right here. So I'm actually going to just line it up right now and pin it so that I have it in the right spot for later. Okay, yeah, Megan, will you do that for me? Oh, you didn't have to put it in the chat. Because now it's in the chat for forever. But maybe Brooke can delete that. I'm going to write it down. Okay. I think I got it. No, it'll have sleeves, Carol, for sure. All right. I'm gonna shake off some thread. All right, let's see how my facing looks here. Turn my corner, my point. It feels so thick right there. Well, the thing is like Megan, like every time someone watches this video, the chat pops up. It will matter. Bots are constantly scanning the internet for email. It's like the time I emailed my credit card number for some reason to my fabric rep, and then literally by the afternoon I had fraud. How do I select the items? Hi, Samia. How's it going? Oh, what filling is best with the pincushion? You know, I'm just using, my daughter just bought it at Michael's for me, just a fiber fill. I didn't even get to pick it, and it's been working great. So I would just pick what you want. How do I pick what I'm going to sew? Generally, it's just kind of what's on my radar, like what I see is popular, or what we're sponsored for. So, or something I want in my wardrobe. Because if no one else is buying it, like paying for the sewing, I try and make something I kind of need, or I kind of think you guys want or need, you know? So I've made a few of her patterns, Ramona. I made I made tunic number 1, and didn't I make dress number 2? Didn't I make dress number 2? Wait, I can check. Let me see. I can look at my, oh no, I can't look there. Yeah, let me see. Oh, really? Lizard litter? It's crushed walnut shell. It keeps the needle sharp. Really? I don't know about that. I'm wondering if steel wool would do that too, you know? I'm looking at my patterns. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I did, Ramona. Yeah, so if you go back in the videos, I've made that. I made it this summer in June or July. But if you go to, oh, that's why you ordered it? Okay, cool. Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't get to keep that one. That's the one I made in olive green. In the, not the Brussels washer linen, but that other one that is so drapey. It was so nice. All right, let's press this. Putting it off long enough. I saw Malin's glide jacket that she made. It turned out so nice, and it was by a company I hadn't heard of called Made It Patterns. And so I was looking at their Instagram page, and I noticed that they have a lot of cute patterns. They do kids and they do women's. but they had this dress called the Groove dress. And it's kind of like dress number 2, but in knit. And it kind of has a nice swingy shape to it. It's cute. All right, this looks pretty good. Considering what we went through to get here. I have some walnut shells. That's funny. And I got it with a pincushion pattern I bought years ago. A little snail. Now I know why they gave me that. This is my gathering stitch. I was removing it before I started streaming. I can see it right there. I didn't know that they did it to keep your stuff sharp though. So yeah, you really want this facing to look good because it is gonna show on the outside of the garment like this, you know? So I didn't forget that. No, I kind of have to like put it on there right off the bat. All right, so this we're gonna have to trim right here. I'm just a little worried about what if I need to lengthen this side, you know, even a little bit. So we're not going to trim it quite yet. So we'll just get it as nice as we can. Just so we can see how the whole thing is hanging, if we see anything, and the center front length. You know what I mean, jelly beans? Yeah, which one's the Issy top, Nancy? I know you've been making that. The Kendrick overalls. Who made those, Heather? Ooh. I would have loved a duvet. I kept looking at florals on this like color blue. This kind of like colonial navy blue. And I just know that dog fur and everything's gonna show, so I didn't do it. I mean, if the static's not keeping them off the bed, I don't even know if an electric fence would at this point. They feel entitled. Oh, okay, Nancy. What went up to 4X, Rona? The chat kind of scrolled off the page for me. Did you just see a pattern that was 4X that you like? I really want to understitch this, but don't understitch it. Because this all shows on the outside of when you're wearing it. I kind of want to just sew until I'm done with this today, but that might be kind of a long stream. I didn't eat my typical, you know, like coffee and a treat before stream today. I'm trying to break myself of the habit. It's a bad habit. If I don't drink the coffee, I don't want the treat. You can't seem to say. Hey June. Oh, is this the Kendrick overalls? No. You're right. Oh, dress number 2. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is. All right. Let's get this. All right, so now I'm gonna match my center front edge and see how it's shaping up. Yeah, so see that? Big difference. Holy heck. Okay. Let's see our collar here in action. I'm gonna press this seam up into the neck. I think that's where it goes. Kind of putting wrinkles into my sleeves there. So glad we did all the top stitching. It's nicer. Gives it more structure, you know? Do they really have a pumpkin spice flavor? Oh my gosh, poor dogs. I think I saw that somewhere. Phew, I was a little worried about what that was. All right, I'm gonna sit down and trim a little. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna trim this right here. I would like this to be a little sharper. And I think this one could benefit a little as well. Have you tried them? They love pumpkin spice season. My little point doesn't look, oh, I guess it's just the thread looking weird. Okay. All right. I know I pivoted, but it doesn't look like I did. Okay. It just feels really thick in here because remember, all this fabric is folding in like this, right? That's what's happening when you're turning it. So I'm just going to trim this a little closer. I don't like trimming too close to the corner because then when I go to pop out the corner, you have the risk of literally pulling it apart right there, you know? So that made it a lot less bulky right there and soft. It's not, it doesn't probably look crisper to you, but it does to me. It's probably really subtle on the camera. Let's look at the other side. Yeah, because it just feels really thick right there and kind of lumpy. It feels lumpy. And look at that. You can see it's wrinkling up on itself. So let's just get rid of some more of this fabric here. So all this goes like this inside here, right? So you can kind of get a preview of what's going to happen. That's already a lot better. Look at that. Way better. Okay. Let's look at the I'll look at this neckline a little bit more. And thank you for the Patreon pledge. Ramona, that's awesome. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I don't hear that alert very often. It scared me. Did you see me jump? It's always different how people, however they get to the thing, and then it does a different alert for different things. I try and make them all the same, and then I get kind of lost in the menus. Hi, Raquel. Yeah, we do it like a combo for ours. I've also been hearing things against grain-free lately. Which makes kind of sense, you know? How's it going? What are you working on these days? I'm kind of pre-pinning all this, mainly because right now we have access in here and we probably won't soon. So, and you can tell like my pressing didn't press all of it up in there. So we're gonna, this edge here, you hand sew, by the way. For me, it'd be like, I probably would cheat and push all that seam allowance to the body of the jacket and then stitch it down with the machine. So if you're a cheater like me. This is laying, I gotta say, this is laying really nice right now. All the gathering, I see that we eased it, but I think that it's all going to lay really nicely when the jacket's being worn and the collar folded down. So, oh, thanks, Ramona. You know, that's how I look at some of the people I support too. I'm like, you know, I spend way more time watching this streamer than anything else. Okay, it's laying really nice, except look at that right there. It's not. All right, I'm done. I'm going to the ice cream shop. What the heck? Let's take all this out. I don't even want ice cream right now. What do I want? Do you ever play that game? What do I want? Yeah, right, Nancy? Exactly. I like sewing the Charlie Captain a lot. Like, I want more of, I like sewing that, but it's such a distinctive dress that I feel a little like, I don't know how many of these I could use. I had to raise that V-neck up, though. Did you have to do that, Raquel? I had to raise that thing up a couple inches. Hot cookies. Oh, do you have an Insomniac cookies in your neighborhood, Megan? Because they, when you buy the cookie there, it comes hot. It's really good. The peanut butter cookie is really good. I'm really picky about peanut butter cookies. All right, I'm just going to stick with that only. Let's see how the collar really is. I'm hoping this will make me feel less suspicious of it. I'm feeling a little piratey. Does it seem big? Was the hot cookie comment in relation to the low neckline? How is it? Okay. Wait, let me see if I can. I want to see. I think red was the wrong color to wear today. This one. Okay. The lay's really nice. You're sick of Christmas movies, but it's October. Are there Christmas movies on? What the heck? I'm clearly not watching that channel. Yeah, right? I was wearing it over my sweater the other day. I can't tell. It feels fine. It feels good. This shoulder right here, doesn't it seem like the shoulder is a little low on me? This feels a little big. This feels a little big on me, I think. But this isn't mine, you guys. This is... Okay, it's really hard to look at yourself in the camera because the camera is showing you how you look at me, but it's not showing me how I look in a mirror. Yeah. Oh, you don't want a hot cookie. You're thinking I want a hot cookie. Yeah. How's the back look? It's pretty big. Look at, I'm not even pulling apart the front when I do that. Yeah, it looks kind of big on me. I made the size 44. Is this why I show? Okay, so I made the size 44, which, you know, if, oh, I need to move my camera, sorry. Me being big is... Yeah, the sleeves are going to turn up 2 inches though. So I'm making the 44 and my bust is a 38. It's a 39.5. So I guess I could have done I have to say I probably would have picked the 44. But look at the bust. The bust is 49.25 inches finished. That's 10 full inches of ease, you guys. Yeah, it's pretty big on me. There's a lot of ease. I like ease though in a coat. I really hate it when I feel hung up in a coat and I can't get like, you know, like the Tamarack is my go-to jacket. Like I wore it today. I like it, but you missed me putting it on. I'll put it back on. But the Tamarack, and I think this is just that's a grain line pattern, right? I think for me, it's just grain line armholes tend to be too small. And I didn't really know that about that until I did the willow tank. And I think it was Malin that said, hey, you're going to need to drop the armholes. And so I did. And ever since then, everything I make of theirs, I drop the armholes 3/4 of an inch. I think the Tamarack would benefit from that plus something else. So, do I have to reach down and put my hands in the pockets? Yeah, let me check that. So see, this is where the sleeve length is going to be about right here. So this is good. You know. Let me stand back because you can't really see me. No, Nancy, actually, my fingers touch the bottom of the pocket. I think this is going to look really good when it has the belt, you know? And it's long. I'm going to hurt myself. It's really long. Doesn't this remind you of that iconic coat in the 60s? Is it the 60s? Yeah, right, Megan? That's true. Like I think I would probably make it a little shorter and it would probably be better proportion. It is a swing coat. It totally is, you guys. It's a swing coat. It's supposed to be like this. But, you know. I think like this is the funny thing about patterns. So I feel like a pattern company has a lot of challenges, right? Is it dancing in the rain? Because in a way, sometimes you, the sewist, or me, the sewist, is looking for like that kind of thing that I want to make, right? I want that jacket that I've always wanted. And then you go and you're like, this is it, and you buy this. But the thing is, like, the pattern company, they can't just make basics or things that are like iconic or staples, right? Because then they feel a little bit like, well, we need to innovate a little bit. We need to come up with styles and a look, right? So I think I would make a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's true. Mrs. Maisel does wear, yeah, I feel like that's the early 60s, isn't it? All right, let's keep going here. All right, I was working on my front length. We're not going to finish this today. That's okay. That'll give me more time to come up with my bodice idea. I think like this is like my bodice sloper, you guys. I feel like I really want to do it justice. And me just being like, yeah, I'll do that this week. Doesn't feel like I'm setting it up to do it justice, you know? I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I need to get on that and I'll just work on it and we'll see what happens. Well, you know, the thing is, like, I know some of you would like that more as an instructional, and I'm not doing you much justice if I just throw it together, right? I don't think I'm going to make it a formal course though, because I'm not really set up to charge for a class like that and it's all for free. So I'm just going to like kind of middle of the road it, you know? So that's what I'm thinking right now. All right, so here's my front length right here. And this one's not trimmed yet either. So, all right, so we have this is the spot. I'm happy to show it. I just think like what I would do if I were just alone doing something is a little different than how I would set it up to be communicative about what I'm doing, you know? It's totally different if you were just to like do the thing you guys are really good at, whatever it is, at home, if no one was watching rather than if someone was watching, right? Or wanting to like teach me everything you know about that. You'd want to do it justice, right? There's a ridge right here and it's bugging me. Do you see that? That angle there? I'm a little nervous. I am a little nervous. Okay, about this jacket. Here is my pin right here, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is kind of at an angle here. It's higher here than it is here. I'm going to go with a parallel line to the hem right now. So if I look at this being a parallel line, you know? And then I'm going to start my sewing about 5/8 of an inch away from this edge here. There we go. All right. I would like to just hack this all the way to here, cut all this off right here. But let's just see what the instructions say before I do that. And I'm not like, oops. Okay. Oh yeah, so they don't show you anything yet. All right, we're going to sew the lining together now. Raw lower edge of the coat. Okay. So I feel like, I think I might leave the lining open on the side seam right here rather than at the hem. The best place to leave your lining open is the underarm seam of the sleeve. So inside the sleeve, you leave it through, but it's tricky because then you can turn the entire coat through that hole in the sleeve lining, and then you can machine stitch that opening shut. The obligation to hand sew it shut isn't really there because it's in the sleeve and you don't really see it. On the side seam, I probably want to hand sew that shut, you know. This would be a good time to add any inside pockets to your lining if you would like one, by the way. There says no mods on this, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm just looking this over, making sure I do this the way they do it, because this is kind of a tricky step if you haven't done it before. Like, it's pretty easy when it works well, but at the same time, it's like a little tricky. You can get lost in it. Can we do gift sewing for the holidays? Oh, like, what are you thinking? How about a pie slice? Okay, so let's look at this right here. So the lining is going to go to this. I just don't like all this right here, but I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to sew the belt right now. While I have the navy blue thread on. Is it sewn in one long? Yeah, you piece it together. Okay. Oof, I don't like sewing belts. I don't like sewing belts. And it's weird it's not interfaced. Don't you think? I've been really particular about belts when I've sewn them in the past. I think you guys have seen that. Especially when it's folded. Alright, so we have this one. We have this one. I'm going to put it right sides together. I'm going to leave an opening at the center, off to the side of the center back. Don't you love it how you like do all the sewing of one color thread, so you don't have to change the color thread when it takes like 2 seconds to do it? The reason I'm going to do it off to the side is so that I don't have to hand sew shut the seam, that center seam there. It's just easier. Oh, that's cool, Nancy. The Crafty Gemini? I've never heard of them. They have like full playlists on gift sewing. That's great. What are tea wallets? Oh, the whole tea bag. These really are just 2 layers, right? Like there's not going to be some crafty, yeah. Okay. It doesn't look this wide in the picture. You know? All right, we're back to the center here. bring tea when I travel, and I ended up like getting these reusable Ziploc bags by Blue Avocado. So it's like a heavy weight material, plasticish or silicone or something. And that's what I use. I just put that inside my my bathroom bag so that I can keep the tea in there and it stays fresh. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna clip my corners. And I think I'm gonna hand sew this shut, so I don't really need to finish this right now. We'll just set it aside now and get back to our lining. Let's put our cream thread on. I pinking, what am I trying to say? I used my rotary pinking blade on all the edges of the lining this morning, so you can see they're not going to be as thready as the pockets were. Yeah, that's true, Nancy. I know, I actually have a water dispenser here at work. And it's the kind that has the like hot water button, and I love it. Hey, it's so, I wish I had it at home sometimes. You know? Because I can just put like 2 shots of espresso in my like insulated cup, bring it to work, and then I just add hot water when I'm ready. It's lightly snowing. Where are you at, Megan? Okay, so I kind of threw all my pieces in a big pile when I was doing the pinking. Okay, so the sleeve, front, back. All right, let's put the sleeve together. Let's see, is there any tricky notches? So this is the back sleeve. This is the front sleeve. So I'm just going to notch. Doesn't really matter where. I just want to make sure I remember that these are the front. As long as I know which one is which, right? Oh, static. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. All right. It's already nicer. Can you tell with the pinking edges? Already nicer. Missouri. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, true, Nancy. That works. We have a hot water maker at home, you know. But it's just not the same as just, you know, like pressing a button and getting instant hot water. I know, the snails are cute. Aren't they cute? There was a time when doing a flashy lining was kind of a big deal, right? Now, we're really used to people using a flashy lining. So there's something to be said about doing something that's more subtle like this. It looks like polka dots from far away. I really did a quick job. Look, I didn't even pull off all my pinking yet. It just occurred to me like right before. I was like, you know what? This would be so much nicer if we just do it right away. All right, so I'm going to, so the underarm, right? I might be doing this out of order of the instructions, but I'm just assembling the lining all together, right? I don't typically start with sleeves, but because there's no classic shoulder seams, that would be my first one. I would do the shoulders, then I would do the side seam, and then I would do the sleeves. And the sleeves take assembly on this pattern. So I'm just getting these to be sleeves. We're ready. Look at it there, antlers. What are they called? Nancy gave me a hard time in the in like a video comment too. Snail, aren't they antlers? I think they're antlers. Oh, your kids have Yeti cups? Yeah, they're like the main competitor to my husband's company. He doesn't own the company, but you know, like where he works. Yeah, I know Yeti. They're really popular. They kind of started with coolers. But yeah, it does. It keeps your drink really hot, really cool. It's great. I like it mostly, like I really like my coffee staying hot, but I really like the ice staying iced. I think antenna. I'm pretty sure snails, they're not called antenna. I think they're called horns or antlers. They're called horns, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but butterfly, right, is antenna. You don't come here for my scientific, you know, naming. I can barely say what I'm trying to say. I call everything, you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to sew this thing here. So, are they antennae? Because I think I feel like it's a weird, someone's Googling it, right? Yeah, come on. You guys have the Google. All right, we have a left sleeve and a right sleeve. Let's do our side seam on our... So the back on this one doesn't have a seam, but it does have a pleat. It does have a pleat. Yeah, it is. I know. It's a little easier to see, isn't it, Samia? Samia. There was someone on the news, and I think it was the same name, and so I was trying to practice to say it. Say your name. All right, so fold the back lining in two with right sides together. Base the center pleat between the two dots, and stitch above and below the dots. Open the back lining and press the pleat to one side. Okay. Base the center pleat between the two dots. Okay, so basically you're going to sew down the center of the back on the pleat line. You're going to only baste between the dots, but do a regular stitch between the dot and the neckline and the dot and the hem. Wow. Tentacles. Eye stalks. Oh, they're eye stalks? I don't like that word. All right, where's my back lining pattern piece? Sometimes I'm kind to myself off camera and I fold things so that I can see them really easily. Okay, this is the front. This is the front. This is the back. This thing is picking up everything because of the static. Can you guys hear my heater? I just turned it on yesterday. All right, so let's mark our dots. Do you know me? I don't mark dots. I'm a little, why does this look so big? Okay. So I want to make sure I have everything lined up before I decide where the dot is, you know? It's right on that eye stalk. Let's get the bottom one here. Okay, I don't have one here. Oh, here it is. It's way up here. It's way up here. Okay, perfect. Yes. Right on that eye stalk as well. I'm learning. Let's see here. I forgot to notch the, I think I had it notched, but I trimmed it off this morning by accident. What snail cartoon? Oh, Turbo. I actually made a Turbo. You want to see my Turbo? It's right here. It goes with the lining really well. He's really dusty. He's coming apart. Little things eat your knitting. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I knit this right after watching the movie Turbo. I like snails as long as they're not in my garden, you know. I think they're fun. All right, so I did all that and it wasn't right sides together. So I'm feeling a little lazy lately, you guys. Sorry. I'm sorry. He's well loved, yeah. He just sits there, but between dust and little critters and, you know. All right, so I'm just doing this right sides together now. I'm trying to get my small pins. They're going to stay in this slimy fabric a little easier. Or slippery, I should say. It's not really snails. This is how you don't mark your pleats, by the way. I'm doing this in the most inefficient, awkward way ever. Hi, Dorothy. How's it going? We need a snail pin. Oh, a snail pin cushion? There is a pattern for that. Don't worry about typos. I don't care. Oh, really, Nancy? That's so cute. Yeah, the pincushion does have the same colors as this fabric. I noticed that too. Isn't that funny? Okay, here's my little notch right there. And then this notch, I'm just kind of lining these points up, one on top of the other, pushing the pin all the way in like that. And I know that the dot is where the pin went in. And then let's see, where is it at the top here? I need a snail sewing, but I hold my straight pins. Yeah, I know. I really should make that pattern because it was really cute. Don't know if I need another pincushion, but hey, I don't have a snail, so all right. Let's poke this guy in where this one is coming in. All right. Wouldn't you know, I think I marked this one on this side and this one on this side, because this is how I am right now. I'm kind of a bonehead. I knew that when I was doing it too. I was like, don't forget to do it on the other side. All right. Pleats do? Love pleats. All right. So I'm going to sew up to the dot right here with a regular stitch. And then I'm going to switch to basting. I'm going to back stitch right here, and then I'm going to switch to basting up to the other dot. I think what this does is just kind of keep the lining in check when you're kind of sewing it into the jacket. It keeps it all lining up well. Less fiddly, probably less chance of it kind of sagging into the seam and getting caught. Okay, so now here I am at the dot again. And I'm going to switch it back to my regular stitch length and finish it up. And then I'm just going to the notch right here at the neckline. All right, so now we have our back all stitched up. And, you know, actually I think what I'm going to do is put a clover pin on where I back stitched. Because I have a feeling you take this stitch out maybe when it's from the right side of the lining. And it might be hard to find where your back stitch is. So I'm just going to clip it. I don't know, maybe it won't be like that. I'm just thinking of the future. Where's my back stitch here? Here's my back stitch. Because it's hard to see your back stitch. You can't on the right side, right? So we'll just do that, and then we know. Also, then we remember that we need to take out that back basting stitch between the shoulders and the hem. So, well, pleats are, I have to say, pleats and pattern drafting, they're not my favorite. They are kind of tricky because doing the math on them, it never works out with the grade. Like, it's, you know, the idea is awesome, and then when you go to grade the garment, you're like, oh heck, what was I thinking? You know, you almost have to grade each one individually, and you can't really do that. Like, the pattern needs to all be tied together in a computer file. Unless you're doing like really high-end stuff, then you can have like, this pattern is its own pattern and its own size. But typically speaking, it's just hard. That's why you don't see a lot of pleated stuff either. Partly why. That, and it takes up a lot of fabric. All right, so I'm going to leave my opening in the side seam. That's just my preference, because I would really like the hem to be a nice, smooth seam, you know? So I'm just going to leave an opening right here to turn my jacket through the side seam. You can leave as big or small as you want. Bigger is easier, just more to deal with later. More sewing to finish it. No, don't land on the ground right now. The ground is atrocious. It's got little blue threads all over it. I'm going to trim this off a little bit. I was trying to trim off the bare minimum because I knew that it would affect the size and my seam allowance if I didn't, but it was a little hard. You have to be a certain amount into the fabric to actually get a pinked edge, you know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is part of the battle with sewing, right, Nancy? Is thinking of things 3D and inside out, right? Because you're sewing things inside out. I think this is why this has always been something I really like, because it kind of comes natural for me. There are certain things I'm like, I don't know how to do that. You know, and I have to sit there and it's like a brain teaser. And as I get older, it gets harder. And it's because I don't use it as often now, you know. I'm not employed doing that for garments. I did it for bag making, which was different, you know. This side seam, I'm just going to go all the way down. You only need one opening. All right, so now we're going to put our sleeves in. So we have our coat body. It's slippery. So now let's see, this is our front sleeve. So now what I do is I look for my front sleeve here. Let's see, is it this one or is it this one? It's this one. So this one is the sleeve and this one is the sleeve. Like sleeves are always a little confusing, right? So you gotta just make it logical. So I just turn this right side out. This is my front sleeve. It's got one notch. It goes to this side. You know what I mean? So what pajamas should I do with my fun fabric? I think I'll definitely do those Caroline pajama bottoms. But I'm wondering if I can do the Caroline pajama top in a knit without a collar. What does it look like? I can't really remember. Do I press my seam allowances open? My thing with pressing seam allowances open and aligning is they don't stay that way. So I try and do it the way it's going to want to stay, you know? So like if I press it to the side, press the seam allowance to the back. That is easier to press from the outside of the garment, right? You know? This is more of a wash and wear kind of coat. It's not a dry clean only, you know? So I press the sleeve seam allowance that way and the side seam allowance of the coat body towards the back, which is towards me right now. So I went on a really cool thing on Monday. A couple of the people I've been meeting, one of the gals started a modern quilt guild. I know I'm not a quilter, but I want to hang out with those sewists, and the modern aspect is kind of intriguing. So I went to one of the meetings on Monday, and it wasn't an official meeting. It was like a meeting between their meetings, and we did something with. It was a little project, and it was pretty fun. So she gave us a little 6-inch square of black paper and a big white piece of paper, and you had to cut your paper so that you were creating basically a mirror image, a symmetrical image. So you're hinging the edges. It was really fun. I'll have to post what I did. Like I couldn't come up with anything at first, and then I did a couple though. And what people made was so amazing. The high contrast was so satisfying, you know? And most of them couldn't really be made into a quilt block because they would be so, it would all have to be like needle turned. But, so you could, you know. If you're like me, the cheater, the big fat cheater, you would make a fabric print out of it, and then that would be your block. I would just upload it on a Spoonflower, print it out on a block. All right, making our way around the armhole here. So, anyone making a coat? Anyone making this coat? Have any of you made this coat? Really, Nancy? That's cool. What's the subscription called? All right, so here's our lining. But it's inside. It's like right side out, but it won't be on my in the jacket. It'll be inside out. Okay, so now we have our lining. We have our jacket. And it's all about to look amazing. And I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow and we'll finish it out. Oh, it's called A Good Quilt, and you learn how to make an heirloom quilt. That's cool. How fun, Nancy. Do they have like a little group that you join and then you get to hang out and chat with them? That sounds fun. I hung my little things on the wall, so I'll show you a picture of it. They were fun. It was really fun seeing what everyone did and how different they were. One gal did a 3-dimensional thing above the paper. It was really neat. So, okay, so for those of you wanting a faster sew along, sorry about that. I really drew this process out, but it's been nice. I've been thinking about it a lot, you know. I'm gonna look at my collar. Maybe I will hand sew this down here and I'll tell you all about it when I do tomorrow. See, so like the cheater in me, this is what the cheater in me wants to do right now. Let's go like this. Push all the seam allowance like this and just sew it together. I feel like I might get a better result, you know, like this. That's cool, Nancy. Yeah, I'm not stressed at all. I'm just kind of like enjoying it, and I have like fabric right now, but I'm not like one of them I want to sew into a top soon, but I can't decide on the top. And now that I got the jammy fabric, which I forgot about, I'm going to do that, I think, in November. So in November, I think I'm going to do some pajamas. I'm going to think about some gift sewing ideas, Heather. I have trouble with that because I like to think of things I want to get, you know. A Halloween top, yeah, I'll do that this afternoon. That'll take like a half hour to sew up. It'll be really quick. I just need to kind of cut it out carefully because I'm going to add some shrinkage to it. And I want to find some, my chair's drifting. I want to find some contrast sleeves. I think that'd be really cute. Oh, I do have some black scuba. That's a little overkill, huh? You want, yeah, right, Heather? Yeah, so I want to think about like, okay, so this is kind of my own personal thing. I really like cloth napkins, and I have a lot of cloth napkins, but my pet peeve with them is that the edges are rumpled, except for these yarn dyed plaid ones I did where I just zigzag the edge and then put a fringe, a self fringe on them, you know? And then those never need ironing or anything. I'm not going to iron my napkins. What about a stocking pincushion? If you have sewists in your life, like I don't know a lot of sewists I would give gifts to. That would be fun though, that'd be cute. What about a little Christmas tree or something? So that's the thing is like, then you kind of get into that territory, and this is something I always really steer clear with Chicken Boots, of doing icons that are affiliated with a religious holiday. I try and keep things more in the winter theme so that I can give them to everybody, you know? So it's tricky because you want to make something that could appeal to everybody. Yeah, right, Heather? I know. I know. The pattern weight in fun shapes. Yeah, just don't use food inside your pattern weight. PJs would be, yeah. I'll be just sewing some this month for me. I don't know about the gifts. You know, and you could do the like table runner. Like I have a couple table runners, but I totally forget to pull it out. I just bought it because I like the fabric. In fact, actually, guys, I think I'm using it as a curtain you know how like a front door will have two narrow windows on the side? Well, the light comes in on one of those right into the eyes of whoever's in the living room. So I just tacked up the table runner. It's narrow and long. It's so bad, you guys, because it's like the cobbler's children at my house. I'm like, I'm not gonna sew curtains. I'm gonna buy those. So, oh, Christmas tablecloth. See, yeah, that's cute. Yeah, so I've also made reusable grocery bags as gifts. Last year I did the DOP bag, the port side travel set, Heather, you know, that for by Grainland Studio. I did the duffel bag for my dad and then a DOP bag. Is that what they call it? I call it a DOP kit bag, you know, like the little bathroom travel bag. I did that for all my family. Right, Nancy, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The DOP kit is good. I'll think about it. You guys think about it too. We need to get on it. Because it's November in a few days. Dang, it is November. Teachers, I never handed out teachers gifts. I am kind of a hard ass, Heather. I don't want to have to get a gift for everything, you know. You need a couple of teacher gifts that aren't bags. I like food because it's like not something that takes up space in their home and they can share it with other people. And you can also do, you know, kind of, you know, not as junky too. Your school makes a week of it? Oh my gosh. Wow. I think I'm going to try and sew the gift bags I keep meaning to sew for like 2 years now. The neighbor gives the bus driver a gift. That's cute. I would sometimes see my neighbor put like a really nice, like a little package on top of his garbage can for the guy who picked up the garbage. Because in our town, there was never a holiday for garbage pickup. So they would pick up garbage on Christmas Day or whatever, New Year's Day. I would see him out there handing him cash. I'm like, you're lucky to have my kids. You do not make it sound like that sometimes. Oh, that's nice, Nancy. Yeah. Homemade granola. That's a good gift. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to feel cheap. I know. We need to ask teachers what they would want. What do teachers want? Some of you are retired teachers, aren't you? Or teachers now? Like, what do you want? You need to tell us. I'll ask my mom. She worked in an elementary school for 17 years. You leave cash for government? Yeah. Yeah, so. All right, guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow. And then we're going to finish this tomorrow. I declare. Now that it's like 2 steps away. But all the little finishing details, I just want to make sure it's hanging right. I'm going to clean up some of these threads on the inside. I'm not going to trim too much because some of it's going to come back. You know what I mean? I'm really glad we top stitched all the seams. So this actually, if I get rid of some of this, it won't come back because it's been top stitched, you know? So. Oh, I like that. A hot chocolate mix. Gift certificates. Yeah. Yeah. Pins, gift cards. Okay. Now you guys got me thinking. My local fabric store has been doing like little emails on things to make. Lint rollers, right? Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, same time. I'll try and make it always the same time. I used to jump around and it was a little confusing even for me. So. All right, you guys. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Hasta mañana, iguanas. Thanks so much for the Patreon subscription as well. Thought it was really nice of you, Ramona. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy sewing. Happy Halloween Eve. I'll see you tomorrow on Halloween. You bring the candy, okay? I like peanut M&Ms and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And milk chocolate with almonds. Okay? I'll see you then. Bye, guys.